What's up, Raiders? Bionic here. Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. So, I'm gonna start this off by saying, warning, warning, warning. This is going to be tough. Why? Not because this isn't doable. I've mapped it out for you guys. We're gonna look at the calendar. This is going to be somewhat of a guide at the same time to help you guys hopefully get this champion, but more importantly, to pace yourself. Why? Because of this right here, the calendar, famous calendar. So this is the Kreela Witch-Arm breakdown, okay, of the events and tournaments. We have the events in purple, and then we have the tournaments in orange. Simple enough. I've shown this before. Here's my big warning though. Let's back up by about 2 weeks. We got the Kantra Cyclone fusion, and then let's back up a little bit more. 2 weeks before that, we have nothing. 2 weeks before that, nothing. Then we hit the Gerptuk Mossbeard. So what you see here is a big gap, and what's in this big gap? The next fragment system, right? Or the next fragment event, rather. So fusion, fragment, fusion, fragment, fusion, fragment, fusion, fragment. That's how it's going to be now, most likely. This fragment system is going to be on top of the fusion events to drain more of your resources. That's how I'm going to look at this. And that's what I mean by you have to pace yourself. If you want to be able to get this fragment and the next fusion, because that might be a really good one, you're gonna have to make sure you hold on to some of your resources and that you use it wisely, right? So you're going to have to pick and choose the right events or tournaments to focus on so that you have something left over for the next fusion event. And that is mainly going to be, I think, the hardest one is shards. We have a summon rush for 30 fragments, and then we have, what is it here, a champion chase tournament for 45 fragments. This looks good, but here's the big problem with that. This is fixed. You know how many shards you need. This is not. It's a gamble. So I would say do not gamble on the champion chase tournament. Rather, try and get everything you need from the events, because this is fixed. You sort of know what to expect, and I'll show you guys in a second, right? And then the tournaments is also somewhat fixed in the sense that it's going to be 5 fragments at 1 milestone. Champion chase tournament is going to be multiple milestones, and because you don't know which champion you are going to get when you summon, which might be a legendary, an epic, or whatever, you don't exactly know how many shards you're going to need for this to work. So again, I would say do not count on the champion chase tournament, okay? Instead, focus on this right here, which is, you know, right off the bat, quite hard. 30 fragments from a summon rush, that means it's at, we have it right here, I think, right? This is, no, champion chase tournament. Hold on. Actually, we have it in the game. Let's go check it. It's 3,000 points, 3,500 points, if I'm not mistaken. 3,500 points. This is usually a legendary tome here, okay? This is a lot of shards. I don't typically go this far in a summon rush for one of the fusion events, but right now you're almost forced to. So what do I mean by that? It's basically because if we once again go back to, I have it right here, okay, all the events that we need to do, because of how you're going to get the other fragments. Let's say artifact enhancement event is the same thing as it usually is. So an artifact enhancement, I think I mapped it out here for you guys. I said it is most likely going to be around 1,500 points for 10 fragments. How much silver is that? Depends. It could be 5, it could be 10, it could be 15, depending on how well prepared you are. And we have 2 of those. Therefore, assume you might need close to 20 million silver to get those fragments from the 2 artifact enhancement events. Dungeon Divers event, I estimated it probably to be around 1,700 points. That's not too bad. It is doable considering the tournaments we're going to be doing for like Fire Knight and whatnot, that it is usually doable in 3 days with the amount of energy you're going to get. Therefore, I'm going to look at the Fire Knight tournament at about 1,500 points or 1,700 points, I think I said for the tournaments. What did I say? Dragon, 1,500 points, okay? So that's about 3 days worth of energy refills. It's doable if you only do the dragon during that time. Therefore, I'm going to say, like I just mentioned, you're going to be able to get the Fire Knight, the Ice Golem, the Spider, and the Dragon. But that's only 20 fragments there. Assuming you also get the 2 artifact enhancement event, that's 40. And then that leaves you with either Dungeon Divers and Champion Training event for the extra 10 on top of the 30 fragments from the Summon Rush if you've went all out on the Summon Rush. If you haven't, and you're not going to get those extra 15 fragments, then you're going to have to work on the Champion Training Tournament or part of the Champion Chase Tournament as well. The arena onslaughts are pretty straightforward, so that's somewhat of a gimme, so that extra 10 might be doable as well. So anyway, all that being said, when I look at this, I'm going to assume all the different dungeons, the 2 arena onslaughts. I'm not going to count on the Champion Chase Tournament, and then we're going to do most of these events right here, like we typically do, okay? And then hopefully that by the time you've done this Summon Rush right here, you can have enough shards left over for the upcoming fusion event, which I'm pretty sure is probably going to be within 2 or 3 weeks after the fragment system. So how are you guys going to do it? That's the big question today. I'm looking at this and I'm like, off the bat, it seems doable. Like, it's not over the top with the points, of course, assuming that the points are correct. Like for the Champion Chase Tournament, I think I pulled one up for you guys. Champion Training Tournament, right? That's another one that we don't exactly know how many points we're going to have, so I think I marked that one Champion Training, maybe 4,600 points, maybe, to go all the way to the top, right? So we don't know. So it's risky because we don't know the amount of points or total points to get the last layer or the last milestone of fragments. I would say don't necessarily count on those tournaments. Instead, focus on the events, because that we know is most likely going to be at those fixed values, like I said right here. Okay, so Dragon, Fire Knight, Spider, the whole thing, 1,500 points. Assume about 1,500 points. Arena Onslaught, 225 points, somewhat doable. Summon Rush, 3,500 points. That's a lot if you want to go for that last level, right? Then Champion Training Tournament, we don't know. I said about 2,000 points for those 10 fragments. Who knows? It could be higher. So again, be careful. So I guess that's the big problem right here, is that because it's the first one, we're going in a little bit blind, but hopefully with these values right here, you guys can somewhat estimate how many points you're going to be able to generate from all this, and hopefully you are able to get this legendary as well as the one that is going to be coming from that fusion. Okay, so if you don't get these 15, it's going to be a little bit rougher, right? If you stop only here at 1,000, I know personally I'm probably going to do this and try to push. We have a 2-chance sacred event. We also don't know what we're going to have for the next Champion Chase Tournament, which is going to be next week. We might have a 2-chance, probably the next one is going to be Void Shards. So do you have enough Void Shards saved up to be able to summon enough points in that Champion Chase Tournament? I don't know. Most likely not. If you're like me and you only save whatever you get while regularly playing the game and you don't buy anything extra, I'd say focus on this Summon Rush a little bit more. I think it's going to be better in the long run. Anyway, all that being said, guys, this is more of like an information update this morning on this new fragment fusion-ish event. Let's call it that. So to sum it up and finish it off, here's a, once again, very intense spreadsheet. So I tried to put it a little bit easier to understand for you guys by mapping it out like this. Okay, so at top we have the event Summon Rush. We know we have 3 milestones, and that's what I mean by if you don't get the extra 15 fragments from this Summon Rush, it's then going to be harder for you to get all the points in here. Okay, I also said that the artifact enhancement event, if you only do one of them and not both, you're also going to have a much harder time getting all the right amount of points that you need. Okay, my issues with the Champion Chase Tournament, I don't know what the milestones are going to be, and I don't like the fact that it's a gamble. But if anything, what I'm going to do for myself is, like I said, go for the Summon Rush for full 30 points. I'm going to assume that I can only do one artifact enhancement event, therefore only 10 points, so 40 right there. Dungeon Divers, I'm going to assume I can hit it, so we're now at 50. Champion Training Event, let's hope it's at 1,500 points. Champion Training Event, I do have an example right here. This is the one from Kantra. It was at 1,500 points. If we're not lucky, they're going to put this at 4,600 points for the first 10 fragments, which they might do, because so far we see that the 5 fragments are the easier milestones, and then 10 fragments are a little bit further down. Okay, so maybe assume 4,600 points, but you might also be able to work with the what's the other one, the champion training tournament instead of the event, right? But anyway, assuming I get those 10 as well, now I'm at basically what is it, like 60 right here. Then I'm going to do the arena onslaught, both of them, so that's 70. Then I'm going to have the extra 10, 20 right here, so 90 for all the different dungeons. And finally, I'm gonna have to then work on either maybe that champion training tournament or maybe on the champion chase tournament a little bit. Okay, so these values might not be perfect. Again, here's another example. This is the champion chase tournament, and I think this one is recently Cantra as well, because we did have one for that. But for the, what is it, the champion, what's this one called, champion training tournament, we haven't had that in a while. So this one is basically from Torment. So again, we don't know the values, but it might be locked behind 2,000 points. So that's what I said right here, champion training tournament, 2,000 points for 10. So again, pick and choose which ones you want to do. But like I said, I know I'm not gambling on a champion chase tournament. Okay, so that is about it. Again, let me know what you think about all this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later.